Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus' Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu today we've got Söldner X-2 Final Prototype. Developed by SideQuest Studios and published by East Asia Soft, this title was originally released on the PlayStation 3 in 2010 and is going and getting a new Vita port here in March 2015. What kind of taste will this horizontal shoot 'em up go and have? Let's find out.
Alright, here we are at the main menu of Söldner X-2 Final Prototype. Before we get started, let's take a quick look at some of the other options that are available on the start menu. Mainly I want to have a look at the challenges. So, Söldner X-2 goes and has this set of challenges. Basically, they're, well, like it's go and say, challenges that they go and throw at you with various unlockables as your rewards. So, for some of them, you'll go and be unlocking trophies, getting extra credits. You can also go and unlock the additional ship in the game, or additional weapons, and even some like passive abilities as well. It's definitely a fun way to go and add additional replayability and, well, challenge to the game, as some of them are actually quite lengthy and quite hard to go and actually accomplish the goals that they're going and setting in front of you. A lot of them I've gone and attempted a few times without like much luck. It also goes and kind of has a little bit of a difficulty rating in the description as far as if it's one that they consider normal or one that they consider hard. So this is pretty neat, and it's a decently long list of challenges. And this is just the ones that are available for the base game. The DLC goes and adds even more challenges, so if you're wanting to go and pick that one up, which I haven't done so yet, not really any good reason why I haven't. At any rate, if you go and want to pick up the DLC, then you'll go and have even more challenges to be able to go and entertain yourself with. There's also high scores leaderboard, online leaderboard, good stuff. Awards, which goes and has your player level, how well you've gone and done as far as completing the challenge of collecting secret keys in the stages, what you've unlocked, and some base statistics. Kind of neat stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and get cooking. So we'll go ahead and be playing the first two stages today, Zeus Sector and Reef Complex. There are a total of 7 stages in the base game, although the final 2 stages need to be unlocked throughout the collecting the secret keys in the game itself. And then if you go and pick up the DLC will go and add 3 additional stages, for a total of 10 stages, which is pretty good for this type of shoot 'em up. Alright, so here's our ships select screen. So we've got a choice of 2 starfighters initially, the Thor Heavy Starfighter and the Mexus 2 Bullfighter. Those 2 ships are available from the start of the game, and then you can go and unlock the final prototype, Söldner X, which is the ship from, well, the original Söldner X. So that's definitely a neat unlockable. I believe you just have to go and complete a challenge to go and actually get that one. For our purposes today, we'll go ahead and go with the Thor Heavy Starfighter. Primary weapons, bounce laser, scattergun, shape, streamlined, and platy. So streamlined, so platy. Stage 1, Zeus Sector. Alright, so Söldner X is, well, it really is kind of your standard horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up as far as its gameplay is concerned. We're just going left to right, sometimes up or down, and enemies go and come in primarily from the right side of the screen, but they can also come in from top, bottom, or behind. So definitely nothing too particularly innovative as far as that's concerned, but that's alright. It's definitely a formula that is tried and true, and well, to be honest, I love it, so we're good. Alright, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we've got as far as graphics are concerned. So, our starfighter, as well as all the enemies, are nicely rendered and textured 3D models, so it goes and has a nice visual look to it. I'm trying to go and think exactly how best to go and describe it, but I definitely feel that they'd look nice if they might go and have almost a slightly cartoony finish to them. Maybe that might be kind of what I'm going and looking for. But the backgrounds are really beautifully rendered 3D backgrounds. This stage doesn't necessarily go and show that off as well as some of the later stages in the game, as we're just flying through nebulas and in front of star fields and galaxies. But still, there is a lot of great visual effect going on here. Alright, as far as our starship is concerned, we go and have 2 weapons to go and start, and then a 3rd weapon slot that is occupied by various weapon power-ups that we go and pick up throughout the course of the gameplay. So the first weapon that's available for our particular starfighter is the bounce laser. It's just a decently high-powered laser that goes and hits the enemies for good damage. This one thing that's interesting about Söldner X is it does go and actually show us the damage values of that our shots go and deal to the enemy. But the bounce laser does go and deal some decent damage, but once it's gone and hit the enemy, it goes and bounces off them at an angle, potentially going and hitting other enemies and doing more damage. Then there's the scatter gun, which is like a energy shotgun, basically. And between the bounce laser and the scatter gun, I go and prefer the scatter gun. You know, you've got that nice laser, or that nice shotgun spread on it, and overall, I feel it goes and deals more damage than the bounce laser. You know, quantity over quality in this case. And then there's that 3rd weapon spot that I was going and talking about. That can go and be occupied by one of any number of special power-ups, weapons that you can go and get. Like, there are several available in the base game, the wave laser, the spread. I haven't unlocked all of the other ones that are available, unfortunately, but it's kind of neat to have a little bit of variety and customizability as far as what you go with. Right now, we're rolling with the wave laser, which is actually, I'd say is probably my favorite of the extra weapons that are available in the game itself. Wow, I've definitely taken a lot of damage. Real quick, I'll go and discuss that. So, if you go and take a significant amount of damage and get your health down to about, I believe, 20%, you go into... Oh, I lost my wave. You go into Berserker mode, which goes and changes the music and also gives you the benefit of increased damage. So here we're going and using the spread, which sends these spread tentacles out that kind of go and latch onto enemies as well, but they don't deal huge amounts of damage. So as you go and collect the power-ups for the various extra special weapons, you can build up to 3. Once you go and get 3, you've built up to a special limit attack, which is like a screen clearing bomb. Let's wait till he's no longer invisible, and then we'll go ahead and fire that off again so you can go and see what that's like. Bam! Didn't really do a whole lot of damage, but that's okay. We come in and hit him with our special shockwave, which is another weapon you can go and pick up, which is another bomb. That one's more local, so it's more tactical, I guess. And throughout the course of this stage, we're also going and picking up power-up icons that go and, well, simply put, increase the power of the weapons that we're going and using. And we can also go and get weapons that go, or power-ups that speed us up, and chasers that are act as like little options around us, going and dealing extra damage. Donnerzor here, our first stage boss, is just about cooked. Aw yeah, going down. Alright, so despite Söldner X-2 going and being kind of standard shoot 'em up in its main gameplay presentation, it does go and have some neat ideas as far as other systems that it does go and implement. Oh wow, raiding Saltimate. I am Saltimate, and that is awesome. Alright. So anyway, real quick before I jump into the next stage, I'll go and discuss those so we can go and be looking out for them as the stage goes and begins. In the top right, we've got our rank. Oh, it's going to fade me to the next stage regardless. And in the bottom right, we've got our chain. So we'll go ahead and discuss the chain system real quick. You might have been noticing throughout the course of the first stage, I was going and collecting these Sonic-like rings. So maybe our pilot's actually Sonic. Anyway, those rings go and count towards the chain meter in the bottom right of the screen. So as we go and collect more of them, we'll go and build up till we go and complete a meter, and then that power-up that's displayed down there will go and be released, interestingly enough, from that point in the screen. So sometimes that could actually be a problem, since, you know, there might be enemies or bosses or some sort of like terrain in the way of actually us collecting that power-up. But still, it's a neat feature. It also has some kind of timed elements to it. There's the meter that goes and surrounds the power-up. If that meter happens to go and fully deplete, it'll go and we'll lose the chain energy that we've gone and built up, and then we'll have to go and start going and chaining that particular chain all over again from scratch. So, you know, it's definitely undesirable, especially if that's a power-up. The power-up that's will be released is one that you want to go and get. But there are some, you know, it can be very helpful at times to go and complete chains at crucial moments, especially if there's like a health power-up or maybe a shockwave or some other really helpful item that's available. So, the other unique feature that Söldner X goes and has is the variable difficulty system. It's got a rank system, once again indicated in, as I mentioned earlier, in that top right, that as we go and progress through the stages, going and destroying enemies and not taking damage, that's very key to going and building your rank will go and increase. Going and moving as potentially as high as rank S. Normally, I'm not going and doing super great, so rank C is where I usually go and settle, and sometimes I might go and get up as high as like rank B, which is actually where I'm at right now, so hey, this is being a good run. That's kind of awesome. But as your rank goes and increases, the enemy patterns that are thrown at you go and get more difficult. The idea behind the system is that, you know, you'll be taking more damage as a novice player, but at the same time you'll go and be playing at a lower rank, so things won't be quite as difficult. But if you manage to go and be handling what the game's throwing at you really well, then it'll go and increase your difficulty, and, you know, kind of a fun risk-reward kind of thing there. Not that, you know, whenever we're going and playing and shooting them up, not that we want to really ever go and get hit, but, dang it. I did go and get hit there. And so, yeah, not that we ever really want to go and be getting hit, but if you do, then it goes and makes things a little bit easier for you. I believe there are, come to think of it, I believe there are a few other games that go and have similar systems, but it's still a pretty neat idea, all things considered. Although, it does take quite a while to go and build up to some of the higher ranks, and it doesn't take much to go and drop you back down. So, Man, it's just a minor complaint on my part. You know, you go and try so hard. It's like, yes, I finally got and hit a higher rank. No, I got hit. Oh well. Them's the breaks. So, you might have also noticed throughout the course of... Wow, that was really bad. Throughout the course of the game, my gameplay, I've been going and collecting various power-ups, and sometimes I'll go and be collecting these gold keys. Those are the secret keys that are available throughout the course of the game. There's 5 per stage, and they're needed to go and unlock the later stages. To go and unlock stage 6, you need to go and have collected 1 stage from each of the previous 5 stages, and to go and unlock stage 7, you need to go and collect 4 keys in every single stage that goes and precedes it. Although if you go and have the DLC, you can go and play the stages in the DLC that the DLC goes and brings 8, 9, and 10 without having to go and worry about unlocking keys. Those will just be available from the get-go. Alright, here we are at our second stage boss. So, my thoughts on Söldner X-2, it's a very solid shoot 'em up. Definitely one that I would go and recommend to fans of the genre. And especially with it going and coming out on the Vita, if you happen to go and own a Vita in addition to a PlayStation 3, going and having it available on the go as well as, you know, on a bigger screen, like, that's a pretty awesome deal in my mind. I, of course, haven't had the chance to go and play the Vita version yet, but I have high hopes. I'm looking forward to going and giving that one a try when it does go and release. Although, one thing that it does see kind of intrigue me is the time lapse between the original release of Söldner X-2 back in 2010 and a Vita release in March of 2015. I'm not going to go and complain, you know, even a shoot 'em up port is like great in this day and age. We could be doing better as far as taking this guy out. Let's try and burn our limits, see if we can, like, speed things up. So, while not super innovative and admittedly sometimes it can go and feel a little dull at times, I definitely, as I mentioned, feel like it's a very solid entrant in the shoot 'em up genre. One thing that's definitely true, I'm not sure how you want to go and necessarily view that as a good thing or a bad thing, the boss fights can go and be kind of time consuming. There's plenty of phases interspersed throughout the fight where the boss is temporarily invulnerable. So take that as you will. That could go and be a plus or a minus. Here we've almost got this boss taken care of. Ooh! I always forget he goes and charges when he hits this final phase. Nice. Alright, let's see what kind of rank I managed to go and score for this one. Rating is good. I'm not quite sure how you didn't really go and say that. Well, at any rate, there you have it. Söldner X-2, the final, or no, there's no the there. Söldner X-2, final prototype. From the chef, definitely a solid recommendation for a solid shoot 'em up. Alright, well, that'll just about wrap it up for today's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, if you go and have other shoot 'em ups that you would like to go and recommend that I go and play, by all means, please leave them in the comments below, or any other game for that matter. I'm always happy to go and entertain any suggestions that you would go and have. And once again, thank you so much for going and joining me, and I hope to go and see you again next week.